This episode was a lot of fun to put together. It is the best speakers of 2024 that were reviewed here on this channel. So it's not a popularity contest, it's the speakers that I had personal experience with over the year. But if you heard great speakers this year, please share your impressions in the comments below this video. Now the prices ranged from under $600 a pair up to $22,000 a pair, but most of them are a lot less than that. Now the reason that these speakers make the list is because these are the ones that even after they were gone, even after I shipped them back to their manufacturers and distributors, I was still thinking about them because they rose above the fray. There's lots and lots and lots of great speakers, no doubt about it. But these have something even extra to make them jump out of the deck. And that's why they are on this list. Now the first one on the list is the Diptyque DP140 Mark II. It's a dipole speaker. It's a planar magnetic speaker. So it's kind of like, yeah, the French approach to Magnepan, basically. Although I would say it's built, the DP140 Mark II is built to a higher standard than any Magnepan I've had experience with. It's also a lot more expensive than any Magnepan I've had experience with. But it is entirely made in France. It's handcrafted in France. I have pictures of the factory. And yeah, they're doing some serious work here. And as for the sound, they did not sound like other Magnepans. They sounded more dynamically alive. They sounded stronger, punchier in the bottom end, faster bass on the bottom, really clear highs, a very lively yet hyper-transparent sound that, you know, wasn't awful. It wasn't a torture test to play really crappy recordings over these speakers. They are going to reveal all the flaws, but somehow it went down pretty smooth. So I had a great time with these speakers. Oh, and this review for the Diptyque, that ran on January 11th of this year. So I'm going to do this list in chronological order. Now the other thing I liked about the Diptyque is it played loud with ease. It was more dynamically alive than Magnepans, though it did suck up a lot of power. You cannot use a feeble amplifier with this speaker and get the best results. On February 23rd, I reviewed the ATC SCM50 three-way active speaker. Now, this guy, first of all, ATC is a pro sound company. Most of their speakers wind up in studios, but they do have crossover appeal to audiophiles, and that's why I reviewed it on the channel. This speaker is a tri-amped design. It has three amplifiers, one for the tweeter, one for the mid, one for the woofer, and they are all Class AB amplifiers. Right, that is exceedingly rare that active speakers use only AB amplifiers. And even better, from my perspective, is they do not use DSP, no digital signal processing in this amplifier. There's no digital input to the amplifier. You only can hook up a normal line level signal to it, either XLR or RCA inputs. That's it. Oh, the speaker is sold with a 6-year warranty on the speaker itself and also on the electronics. I do not know of any other active speaker that offers 6 years of coverage for their electronics. But in the unlikely chance that you do need to have the amps serviced, you do not have to ship the entire speaker back to England to have it fixed. No, you can. The amplifiers are easily removable and you can ship it back to England for service. Yes, again, that's why it's on the list. It's not just another active speaker. Now the price is on the high side. It is $22,000 a pair, including the stands that you see in the picture here. Now it's also available in a passive version, meaning no electronics at all. You use it with your own amplifiers. Otherwise, it's the exact same thing. And that model goes for $16,000 a pair. The sound of the speaker is, well, like a pro monitor. It is highly revealing. It's going to make crappy recordings definitely sound crappy. But it can play loud. The bass is really punchy. It's a very neutral, no surprise, it's a very neutral sounding speaker. So if you want just the sound that's in the grooves or in the pits or in the digits of your music collection, and you have the bucks, this is the speaker to check out. The ATC review ran on February 23rd of this year. On May 6th of this year, I reviewed the Pure Audio Project Trio 10 Heil AMT. You guys know that I'm a big fan of Pure Audio Project. I use their Duet 15s as my reference, but this is a whole different animal. First of all, it has two 10-inch woofers. Mine, the Duet, just has one 15-inch woofer. It has two 10-inch open baffle speakers. As for the tweeter, I've never heard anything quite like this one. First of all, yes, it is an air motion transformer. I've heard lots of those. But this one is different because A, it's a dipole AMT. There's just as much sound coming out of the back as the front. That's very special. And it also goes lower down in frequency response, goes all the way down to 600 hertz. Most go down to 2K or 1500. This one goes down to 600 hertz. And it's got that really cool looking waveguide in the front of the tweeter and also in the rear. It is made in California by a company called ESS. They've been making tweeters like this since the 1970s. So they're not jumping on any bandwagons here. They got this thing down. Now, I know the sound of Pure Audio Project pretty well, obviously, because I live with the Duet 15s. This speaker doesn't sound like the Duet 15. First of all, it's a lot faster, it's a lot clearer, it's a lot more transparent than the Duet 15. The Duet 15 is, by comparison, more laid back, softer in its presentation. But this one, the Trio 10, is just closer to the sound of an electrostatic speaker. That's a better way of doing it, except unlike electrostatic speakers, this one can do actual dynamics, where most electrostatics cannot. So it's got a lot going for it. As for the price, Pure Audio Project ships worldwide, and the price in US dollars is $5,900 a pair. It's available in a variety of finishes. And that price, by the way, is scheduled to go up on January 1st, I think about 10%. So if I piqued your interest here, you should take appropriate action. Oh, I should have mentioned this earlier, but all the speakers on this list, the reviews are linked in the description below this video. And if you want more speaker reviews, I have a playlist with over 200 of them on this channel. Check it out. Now, on September 13th of this year, I reviewed the Sound Artist LS3 It is a Chinese clone of the legendary BBC spec LS3 speaker. Now, most of those, I think all of those, are made in the UK. This one is definitely made in China, and it doesn't officially meet that spec. It's not right on the money. But you know what? To me, well, first of all, it's a lot less expensive than, let's say, real LS3 Those are all $3,000 and even higher. This one is currently selling for $570 a pair, including shipping worldwide. My sample, the $570 version, had a gorgeous, or has, I'm looking at this right over there, a gorgeous rosewood finish. Real rosewood, not, vinyl that looks like rosewood. No, this is real rosewood. It looks gorgeous in the sun. And here's the thing. I am not the biggest fan of the real ones, of the British BBC spec LS3 I mean, I get them. I admire them. I think they're very good speakers, but they don't, let's say, speak to me. I don't feel anything from those speakers. This one, the Sound Artist LS3 $570 a pair. I love the sound of this speaker. It is an extraordinary small stand mount speaker with a 4.5-inch woofer and a 0.75-inch dome tweeter. I mean, it looks pretty much identical to the real thing, some ways better. But it doesn't sound like one, and I just love it for that. First of all, the soundstage is huge for a small speaker. Mid-range is drop dead gorgeous. The bass for a very small speaker is surprisingly full. I played it at this end of the room, the small end of this listening room. But I also had good results playing them where I play larger speakers, and it didn't sound like it was crying out for a subwoofer or anything. No, the Sound Artist LS3 just sounds good, like shockingly good. So anyway, I love this speaker, and I'm not exaggerating. I love it more than any real LS3 and I've owned at least one pair, maybe two pair over the years, a long time ago. So yeah, this is spectacular. So if you have a small room and you're into near field monitoring and you got $570, this is the one to get. The last one on the list is a doozy. On October 4th of this year, I reviewed the Klipsch OJAS KO-R1 2-way stand mount speaker. Klipsch, OJAS, they got together. They did a collaboration to create this speaker. This is a first for them, right? And it has a bit of Klipsch in there. Yeah, definitely a lot of Klipsch and a lot of OJAS. And actually, the two guys that actually did the collaboration, Roy Delgado from Klipsch and Devin Turnbull from OJAS, yeah, they got together and, well, they kind of had a baby, you could say, right? Because it's a bit of this and a bit of that. But as you look closer at the speaker, you see substantial differences that this does not look like any Klipsch. First of all, look at the horn. The horn is a cast aluminum biradial horn. Every Klipsch horn I've seen so far in my life was molded plastic. This one is cast aluminum with a compression driver, with a Klipsch compression driver on its rear end there. The cabinet itself is 13-ply birchwood. Every Klipsch speaker that I have any experience with is MDF. The build quality is exceptionally good. It feels really, really solidly put together. It's heavily braced. It's a well-constructed speaker. It is. And it sounds like a horn, like a really good horn speaker. And I haven't lived with one in quite some time. So it was great to have it back here in my listening room, and it's sticking around. It is on loan from Klipsch OJAS. Stick around here for a while. And I'm knocked out by the sound of this speaker. It sounds like live music. Oh, the price. I don't want to forget the price. The price is $8,498 a pair. That price includes the stands. Yes, it does. It sounds clean. Even when you push it with highly dynamic material, you don't have that sense of increasing strain as it's getting louder and louder. No. The KO-R1 just coasts. So it's also has very high sensitivity. I forget the number. I think it's 97 dB. If I'm wrong, I will correct it right now. So you can use it with very low-powered amplifiers, but it plays well with very high-powered amplifiers. If you're really into partying and your room isn't freaking the size of Madison Square Garden, this speaker can really fill a space nicely. Anyway, it's sticking around, as I've said. I am smitten with this speaker. And I'm back living with horns. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, speaking of so good, yes, it is now time for the AUDIOPHILE viewer system of the day. Mike sent in these pictures. He lives in Toronto. That's in Canada. His speakers are Omega Junior Alnicos. The sub is an Omega Deep Hemp 8 turntable, Riga P8 with a Riga Ania Pro moving coil cartridge. The phono preamp is also Riga. It's an Aria Mark III. The amplifier, yes, is a decked out deckware. It's a UFO 2.1 custom, one of their auction units, custom hydro dipped, whatever that means. The streamer is an Eversolo DMP A6, and the DAC is a Chord Cutest. Thank you, Mike. My name is Steve Guttenberg, and I am the Audiophiliac. I have this new project that I've done for the past few months, and that is make videos exclusively for my Patreon. In other words, they are not shown here on the YouTube channel. The only way to see them is to join my Patreon. You can join for just a few bucks a month. up to $50 or even $100 a month. And those people in those top 2 tiers, they have a conversation one-on-one with me at the beginning of every month. And it's fun. It's fun for them. I gotta tell you, it's fun for me. I've been doing this a long time now, and I've had some amazing conversations with my patrons. And this connection between me and my patrons, I think, kind of elevates what I do compared to the way it worked when I wrote for print magazines. Like I've done some work for Stereophile and other magazines where I never really met the people who read my copy for those magazines. But now, between talking to people and having the viewer systems of the day, I really feel like I know my audience. I really, really do. And I'm thrilled to do it. Anyway, that's enough babbling for today. I hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.